Hey guys, welcome to today's live. We will have with us today an experienced international student who has studied or continues to study in the United States, who will be sharing his experience with us. You don't want to miss this. If you are interested in studying in the United States, then you don't want to miss this live. Go ahead and share this video, share this link with others you may know that are interested in learning more about the study abroad process in the United States and would like to learn from our guest this morning who will be coming to share with us. He has walked the walk, talked the talk, so who better to learn from but from somebody who has the experience and can walk you through the process. All right. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce to you the Fred effect. So that's Fred, and we can find him on several different platforms, and we'll share and talk about those later in today's live. All right. So good morning, Fred. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Dr. Britton. Nice to be here. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now, Fred, there are a lot of inquiries from people on my platform about how to get on, study programs in the United States, but they are not sure about how to go about the process. Can you share with us if this is something you have done personally for yourself?
Yes, so a little bit of introduction. My name is Frederick. So I have two master's degrees in the United States, all on a full scholarship. So yes, it's highly possible to study in the United States, and I can say that United States have the highest number of higher educational institutions in the whole world, and so there are about 50 states, and there are a lot of universities and colleges in each of these states, and so there is always a university to apply to. There is always a university that is giving out scholarships. And what makes it different from other countries is, normally if you want to apply to a university or college, there is a fee to be paid. Now, because most of these colleges want to encourage people, and especially international students, to come and study, they mostly waive these application fees. So I think it's by far the cheapest in terms of the cost involved in traveling to a different country to study as an international student, and the most rewarding in terms of scholarships. When it comes to giving out scholarship, the United States is more generous. So if you want to study abroad, then the best country for you should probably be the United States.
All right, sounds good. And already I'm getting excited because Fred, I know studying in the United States can be very expensive, but I only know from the undergraduate perspective. You mentioned that you got your two masters in the United States under full scholarship.
Yeah.
Full scholarship. Can you explain to us what that means? Because some people might not even know what a full scholarship mean in the United States.
So when we say full scholarship, it means that my tuition was covered, and then I was also paid stipends and given the
Wow.
opportunity to work on campus. So whilst I'm studying, in my first university, for example, I was employed as a teaching assistant. So I was supposed to assist a professor and work 20 hours a week. And so out of this work that I do, I'm being paid bi-weekly. That is every 2 weeks, in a space between maybe $700 to $1,000 every 2 weeks. So that is my stipend. And since I'm not paying fees, which means my tuition are being waived, that is what is being considered as a full scholarship. So you're working and studying in the university which you gain admission into. So that is what is covered in the full scholarship.
Wow. Now, again, in today's video, you will be telling us how to go about these master's programs, how to get a full scholarship, and also PhDs. Is that correct?
Right.
All right. Some of the viewers may be trying to get an undergraduate degree in the United States. Can you just touch first in a short, in your understanding, how expensive or do these programs also offer? full scholarship for internationals for undergraduate degrees in the United States?
Exactly. So it depends on what university you're applying to, what program, and the documents you have. So everybody can study abroad, but it's you should tailor it according to what documents do you have, what resources do you have in terms of the finances, and also what document are you able to produce. So if you're able to meet the university or the college's requirement, then obviously you'll be considered for scholarship. The good thing is that when it comes to undergraduate, a lot of universities and colleges will waive application fee. And before we end this session, I'll give you about hundreds of universities in the US that are currently waiving the university application fee that you can apply to for free. So you just pick your phone, upload your document, and apply. And most of them will give you what we call merit-based scholarship. So when you get a merit-based scholarship, depending on the documentations, again, so some universities may require SAT or SAT. So can you sit for that exams in order to qualify for scholarship? Some universities may require a TOEFL, especially if you're not from an English-speaking country, or IELTS, to show how proficient you are in English. However, if you are from an English speaking country, you can have a one-page document that says that you did all your courses in English, so you can speak and write English proficiently. Also, English is the first language of your home country, so you may not need that. So to get a full scholarship or partial scholarship for undergrad, highly possible. But it also depends on which college are you applying to, which program are you choosing, and what documents do you have. So if the university requires certain documents, like maybe an SAT, to give you a full scholarship, then if you're able to produce this document, there you wouldn't be the first individual to study abroad on a full scholarship. A lot of people are already doing it, so it's highly possible.
All right, good. And from what you're hearing so far, guys, I know you hear that Fred has a lot of knowledge. He has a lot of experience about the different universities, what they're looking for, their fee waiver for application and stuff like that. If you're interested to get more information from Fred, you can find him on several different platforms. He can be found on YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook, all under the TED Effect. I will share with you his YouTube page as we go in the interview, but go ahead and find him on any of those platforms and definitely, hit him up. He does provide one-on-one consultations for people who may need somebody to guide them throughout this process. So, Fred, back to you said a lot of schools are so are they still accepting students for the upcoming school year, which is should I say August, September 2024?
Yeah, to be honest with you, a lot of universities have already closed their admissions for fall semester. But the good thing, and especially about the United States, unlike other countries, is that most universities have what we call rolling admission, which means that whenever you wake up from bed and you think you want to study in the United States, there is always a university to apply to. So they are admitting on rolling basis. And of course, a lot of universities are still admitting for the fall semester. So some have closed depending on the program you want to apply to, depending on the university. But there are still some universities, especially the ones with rolling admission, that you can apply to.
Good. And you say many of these are having fee waivers. You don't need to pay an application fee because that can be something that's going to hinder an international prospective student from applying to these schools.
Yeah,
So most of them have fee waivers.
correct.
All right. So I know the next question that many of the viewers may be having now is what is the step? How do I go about applying to a school? What do I do? How do I prepare? Can you walk us through the steps, starting from the beginning? Like I needed to go back, Fred, from when you were back in your home country. And I don't know if you share that here,
Right.
where you're from, because the viewers might be interested where you're from, what were you thinking when you thought about, I need to study in the United States and how your journey began. We are ready for the story.
Right. So I am originally from Ghana, and I had a bachelor's degree when when I graduated from college, or my bachelor's degree in Ghana. When you graduate from your from college or from a bachelor's degree, you have what we call a compulsory or a mandatory national service. So you work for the country or the government for like a year, where you are being paid some stipends or allowances. So when I started my national service, which was supposed to be for a year, that is where I started the study abroad process. So the first thing I did was to start gathering my documents. So if you're listening to us now, that is the first step you need to do. So if you want to study a bachelor's degree, you have a high school, you have a diploma, it's possible. So the good thing about the US is that you can apply as a transfer student. That is, if you have some diploma, if you have a diploma, you can apply and start from maybe sophomore year or third year or level 300. But if you have a high school qualification, you can start as a freshman. So when I was done with my bachelor's degree, I started gathering my document. So if you want to study masters, these were the documents I started working on. Obviously, if you want to travel, you should have a passport. So if you don't have a passport, start getting one now. And you need your transcript just to prove to the university you are applying to that, it's true that you have this academic qualification. And so these are your transcript to show for that. Obviously, if you have a transcript, then you get a certificate as well. So if you are from an English speaking country, another document you would want to produce is what we call the English proficiency letter. And let me explain this a little bit. So it's just a one-page document which is written by the university or the college you attended, saying that this student is proficient in English. He did all his courses in English, and his country is an English speaking country. So Ghana, Kenya, Gambia, um Zimbabwe, I want to mention the name of your country, um,
Jamaica.
Jamaica, So if you are from an English speaking country, then you may not need to write an English proficiency exams, depending on the
Mm-hmm.
university you are applying to. So I did not write that. This is because I did not have the money to sit for that. And so I decided to, get the English proficiency letter from the university I graduated from, which is University of Cape Coast in Ghana. So the next one is a resume or a CV. There's most universities will require that. Then you should also get recommendation letters. As at the time I was applying, the university required that I get 3 letters of recommendation. So some universities will require one, others will require two. Some would also require that you put in the professional or institutional email address of the recommender. The university will send a notification to the person's email, and the person will recommend you online. So if you have the soft copies, awesome. If you want to use the emails, that is absolutely fine. The final document will be a statement of purpose. It's more or less like a letter that is showing, what you've done, what you want to do, and why you want to study that program. So you have to write the statement of purpose as well. This will be tailored according to the program and the university you want to apply to. So these were the major documents that I started putting together. And so if you want to apply for masters, this is what you need. Some universities may require what we call a GRE or GMAT. Not all universities require that. So some universities would also require what we call transcript evaluation. Now, not every university, and good for me, the university I applied to did not require the evaluation. So I had to upload the scanned copy of my transcript, and they accepted that. So, depending on which university you're applying to, these documents that I've mentioned, most of them are constant, but depending on which university you're applying to, they may ask for a writing sample, which is maybe a research work you've done, an assignment, just to show how good of a writer you are. They may ask for a writing sample. And, depending on the program too. For example, if you're applying for an art related program, they may ask for portfolio, like what are some of your drawings that you can show us.
Yes.
So these are program specific, but generically these are the documents that you need to put together, especially if you want to apply for masters. Let me quickly touch on, and this is the same for a PhD, so graduate programs. Let me quickly touch on undergraduate and an associate degree program. Now, this is not very common, especially in Africa, when we say an associate degree. So an associate degree is like a 2-year program and mostly offered by community colleges. And so if you have a high school, if you have a diploma, even a bachelor's degree and you want to study a different program, you can apply to a community college. Their requirements are super easy, and also the bachelor's degree. You need your high school results. Obviously, you need a high school transcript. If you want to travel, you should produce a passport, and also the passport shows your international background. You to show that you're an international student, you should produce the passport. You should also have at least two letters of recommendation, and sometimes, depending on the university, you may be asked to produce an essay just to show how good of a writer you are to apply for the so the bachelor's degree document are super easy as compared to the graduate program. So these are the documents. The first step, gather these documents. This is what you need.
Awesome. So I just want to backtrack. You did mention that some universities will ask for a transcript evaluation, the same thing we call the credential evaluation, right?
Exactly.
What if the university need a transcript evaluation? Do you have a company that you recommend that they get this evaluated, or does the school usually tell them which company to use to get their transcript evaluated?
Yes. So sometimes the school would have an internal evaluation. So University of Illinois, for example, Springfield, they have an internal evaluation. So comparatively cheaper that they will do that for you. But sometimes the university will tell you that this is what we work with. So Spantran, West. I don't want to advertise the company, but since you're
Yeah.
affiliated to Spantran, Spantran does that. So most universities will just direct you to the specific evaluation website, and mostly either WES or Spantran is okay for international students.
All right, good. All right, so you did mention something else that caught my attention. You mentioned an associate degree and community college. And are you saying internationals can apply to study in a community college here in the United States and also apply for an associate degree?
Exactly. So most community colleges accept international students, and super easy to apply to a community college because mostly they have rolling admissions, unlike the big universities, and it's super easy to get in. They have a low cost of attendance. Most of them will waive the application fee for you to apply to. So sometimes you don't even have to complete it online. You download the PDF copy of the application, fill it out, email it to them, and within a couple of hours or maybe days you get your admission. So it's super easy to get into community colleges, and especially because it's very cheap in terms of cost of attendance.
So I know a lot of internationals are not aware of that because I too just I wasn't aware that community colleges offer this. I did check out a few community colleges. Most of them say they do not accept international students. So
That's
how
true.
do we go around to find these community colleges that do accept international students?
So they mostly will state it on their website. So when you go to the application portal for any university, they will let you know that okay, we these are the kind of students we accept. These are the kind of degrees we offer and all that. So if you check and then they have an international portal, then it means that they accept international students. And it's super easy to reach out to the international office and ask them that, hey, I'm this kind of student, I'm interested in applying to this university. Will I be considered for admission and all that? So it depends on the community college in question. So you need to find out if they accept. And community colleges like Butler Community College is free to apply. They accept international student. Western Nebraska Community College, Tompkins Cortland Community College, Western Iowa Community College, Big Sandy Technical and Community College. All these colleges that I just mentioned, they waive application fee and they accept international students. Hawking Community College in Nelsonville, Ohio, um, Butler Community College. There are lots of them that you can apply to.
Thank you very much for Fred and for that information, Fred. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, if you're interested to learn more, I'm going to share with you Fred's YouTube channel. You can check that out to see the different things he talk about on his YouTube channel, as well as you can also sign up to be, or should I say, get a consultation from Fred. That's his YouTube channel we have there, the Fred Effect. You see, he has over 100,000 subscribers, so that means you definitely know other people are aware of Fred. A lot of people have gotten, great information from him. So go ahead and find one of his platforms, whether it be on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or Facebook. And there you can get a one-on-one consultation with Fred if that is your interest. So that's the Fred effect. All right. So guys, also if you're liking so far the information that's being shared on this platform, go ahead and give this video a share and a like. Don't forget to subscribe also to my channel, Kicking with Dr. Britton, where I provide with to you information on how to get a teaching job here in the United States. That's Kicking with Dr. Britton, and I can be found on several different platforms as well. So, Fred, we're talking about the steps to the study abroad process. You mentioned if they are sure that something they want to do, the first step is to gather their documents. You also gave us the documents that they need to gather. Once they gather all these documents, what's the next step?
So the next step is to, and this is something that is very important that people don't touch on, how to properly name your document, and when scanning them, the best way to go about it. So you don't need to scan all these documents together, and this is not a major step, but you should really pay attention to your organization. So you scan all your transcripts as one document, not separate document. So sometimes at the back of your transcript there is a grading scale or grading system. Some universities use what we call cumulative average point, or CWA, cumulated weighted average, and others use CGP, which is 4.0 or 5.0. So you need to scan the back of your transcript to show the university the kind of grading scale that your university uses. The second thing I want to talk about is, changing all your document into a PDF, scanning all your document into a PDF. So if you, for example, have your CV in a Word format, sometimes if it's being opened by the admissions committee, it's being distorted because maybe the Windows system or the operating system you're using is different from theirs. So you scan your document into a PDF. Now, when you scan documents, sometimes it has some funny name to it. Do not upload these names onto the system. There is a proper way. Your document should contain at least your name or your names, and then maybe underscore the type of document. So if it is a passport, Dr. Britton dash or underscore passport. So you have to make sure that when you have a document on your PC, without opening it, we should have an idea what document it is. So if you're able to scan your document properly and also name them properly, that is the best way to go. Also, in my country, if you're done with high school and you want to apply to a college or university, you just go pay for the application fee and apply, hoping and praying that you will get admission. So mostly people would apply for 3, 4, 5 schools and then go and pray that one of these schools will pick you. When it comes to the United States, you need to talk to somebody. So the admissions team, every university has faculty members. Among the faculty members, there's somebody who is classified as the head of department, the director of the program, the graduate chair, or depending on the title. Reach out to the person, and you see their details on the university's website. Sometimes even their phone numbers are there. Reach out to them. Hey, my name is Dr. Britton. I have qualification from Jamaica. I have a bachelor's degree. I have a high school qualification. These are my transcripts. This is my resume. Can I please submit my application to be considered for admission? What are some of the scholarships available for me as an international student? And that is what makes the United States a bit unique, that the university you apply to, the department you're going to study in would employ you, and that's where the scholarship comes from. So not every department has the scholarship, and the scholarship is mostly not given by the school, but by the department. So it could be that in the same university, the Department of Economics have scholarship for their students, but the Department of Geography does not. So the fact that you have a friend studying in that school and the person has a scholarship does not mean that when you apply, you're going to get a scholarship.
Yes.
So reach out to the director via email, share a copy of your transcript and resume. And they are very truthful. If you get the admission, they will let you know. If you wouldn't stand a chance, they will let you know. So sometimes a university has maybe on their website that they are, their least CGPA that they would accept will be maybe 3.0. If you have 2.9, sharing your transcript with the director, he will let you know whether you should go ahead and apply or not. So I think that some people do not do this, and so they waste time and money applying to a school and then end up not getting admission or getting the scholarship. You would have known that the department do not have scholarship if you had reached out, so that you don't spend time applying and praying that you get scholarship. It doesn't work like that. So I tell people that this process is not a try and error kind of thing. People have done
Yes.
it. If you want to do it properly, it's easy to get admission, it's easy to get a scholarship. That's the reason why some universities will still spend money on social media to advertise their programs just for people to apply. A professor will be looking for a graduate student to award him a scholarship, and they will spend time to design a whole flyer to post it out there so that they'll get people to apply to. So that admission, the schools are offering admissions, the scholarships are there. You need to position yourself in a good way to be able to, merit these scholarships. Right.
Good. So, and that's something I'm learning here, Fred, because I'm gonna tell you, that's what I do. That's what I do. And I know of other people who are interested in studying in the United States that's living outside of the United States, for example, in Jamaica or in Guyana, whichever Caribbean country. That's what we do. We find a university, we apply, and we pray to be accepted. We do not reach out to admissions. We do not ask questions. We do not make a introduction, and we do not try to find out about the scholarship opportunities. So that's very, very, very insightful, and we appreciate you for sharing this information with us. So now I can tell people that I know who are seeking that teaching position, oh, that's a very important step that Ted is promoting. So guys, go ahead and make sure you're reaching out to admissions. So you gather your documents, you scan them in the correct order, you label them properly, you reach out to admissions to find out, what are my basically my what is the possibility of me getting into your university and the possibility of a scholarship. If we get positive feedback to that, then I guess our next step is to apply. But go ahead and tell us,
Yeah, sure.
Ted, what would
So
be the next step?
the next step is to see if you meet the requirement. So in the first email, which I called, most people call cold email, or maybe an inquiry email, you don't want to ask questions that has already been answered on the website, because you come across as an unserious student if questions are already asked on the website. Now, a university may have certain requirements that you do not have. For example, they asked that, okay, upload a GRE, but technically you do not have the GRE. So after a response to your first email, then you can reply and thank them for responding to your email and ask that, okay, the application fee is $90. I do not have money to pay for it. Is it possible you can waive that for me? Is it possible that you could waive the GRE because I don't have the GRE at this moment? Depending on the feedback, it will tell you whether they still want you to go ahead and apply or not. Now, when you start your application, you have to seek for help. You need to get somebody to review your statement of purpose. So you need to get somebody to go through your resume. I made a mistake. So when I was applying in Ghana, there are only two seasons. There's a dry season and a wet season. And the academic semester is such that you only apply to a university once a year. If you don't get in that year, you need to wait for next year. So when I was applying to my first university, or high university, they gave me fall semester, spring semester, summer semester. There were a lot of semesters there, and I was confused. Like, which one should I select? So I selected the summer semester because that's what I thought I was going to begin. And so I submitted it, and guess what? Because I didn't get anybody to go through for me, I had to pay an extra money just to change the semester from summer to fall semester. So,
Wow.
knowing that, okay, this is the semester I'm applying to, and a bit of education. The fall semester begins in August. And so mostly admissions start from December or sometimes November, January, February, thereabout. So at the moment, most people are working towards the fall semester, which begins in August. So that
Yes.
was the fall semester I was supposed to select, and that was when the program begins, but I selected summer. and it cost me money to change the semester from the summer to fall. And so don't make that mistake. If you want to begin in the spring semester, it begins in January mostly. And so the admission starts in November and all that. So if you want to apply for spring semester, the summer semester mostly begins in May thereabout. So you need to start applying early and all that. So it depends on the university. Most universities or programs admit once a year, which is only the fall semester. Sometimes twice. You can apply for summer, you can apply for spring semester. And if you are listening to me in any other country, this may be a bit alien to you because this is not what we are used to. Like my home country has only the dry season, wet season, that's it. Right. So when
Wow.
you work on the application and you get somebody to review it for you, make the necessary corrections, then you submit it. Now, after you have submitted, go back to that same professor and inform them that, okay, you have now submitted your application. And some professors are so good that they would sometimes ask you to send them your resume or your statement of purpose for them to review or edit for you even before you submit it. So the point is that
Mm-hmm.
they have a lot of ways to encourage you that we need you to apply, submit the application, seek for help. Don't go and make those mistakes so that you end up not getting the admission. So the application is the next step. Then you relax to wait for admission decision. Then you start the visa processes from there.
Okay. So you did explain the different semesters. That was definitely kind of confusing if you're not exposed to, how they start their semesters in the United States. So very useful information there. So know which semester you want to start study and select the correct semester. And Ted did an awesome job of explaining the different semesters. And now I'm learning, you say the professors sometimes will help you to make sure everything is okay. So you put your application in and you wait to be accepted. So you got to get accepted first before the visa process, right, Fred?
Yes. So
So
go ahead.
so when you get accepted, they send you a letter of acceptance, right? Can you
Right.
go and tell us now the letter of acceptance, what it usually comes with? I assume it's not just a letter of acceptance, but other documents that you're going to need to take to your local embassy to get your visa. Can you explain that for us,
Yeah.
please?
Before I come to that, it's always good that people do not keep their eggs in one basket. So, for example, the good thing about graduate school is that you do not necessarily have to apply to the same program you graduated from your bachelor's degree. So, for example, if you have a bachelor's degree in education, it's not only masters in education or PhD in education you can apply to. So you can apply to higher education, early childhood education, curriculum and instruction, education technology. You have a lot of options. So don't put your eggs in one basket. So you could go to a university's website. They don't have masters in education, but they have curriculum and instruction. They have a masters in higher education. That is also related. So do not limit yourself. So I advise people that when you want to apply, at least you have to get at least 5 different programs. You have a first choice, a second choice, and 3 backup plans. And when you're emailing universities, don't pick only one university and email them. You can email about 10 of them because one, some of them universities will not respond to your email. That is
Wow.
the bitter truth. You know, most, and Dr. Britton, most institutions have institutional email, a work email. So, for
Yes.
example, if you use the normal Gmail or Yahoo Mail to send them an email, because of the security system in the school, it goes to their spam box. They don't see it. It's not their fault. They've
Yes.
not seen it. And they, sometimes scammers get to people, and so that's why the universities strengthen their security system so that if it's a Yahoo or Gmail, your email may not even get through to them. So that's why you need to send a lot. Some will respond and tell you that, oh, we can give you admission, but the department do not have scholarship. Others will say that, yes, we can give you admission, go ahead and apply, and we'll give you scholarship. So, assuming you email like 10, you are definitely going to have some positive responses coming out. So, let me move on to the. So, once you have the admission decision, sometimes, and that's what worked for me, my admission letter came automatically with the scholarship. So I did not
Wow.
have to apply for a separate scholarship because the department I gained admission into said that they are going to offer me a teaching assistantship position. And so that came with it. Sometimes it would take a different letter that will contain the scholarship decision, and that will be attached to it. Now, once you have this document, the documents you need in order to start your visa processes to move to the United States is called the I-20. So, for example, if your cost of attendance is $1, and then or maybe $20, and the university offered you a scholarship that is $20, then you don't need a financial statement or a sponsor to get your I-20. However, if the cost of attendance is $20 and then the university offered you, let's say $18, then you need a $2 financial statement for the international office to issue the document we call the I-20. The I-20 is a 3-page document which outlines the university you're going to, your biography, your name, your age, stuff like that, the scholarship, finances, how you're going to fund your education, everything is on it. So this is the document you need in order to start your F1 or maybe M1 or J1 visa processes.
Oh, you need those documents to pay. And you did mention, just to clarify, you mentioned teaching assistantship. I know what that is, but for the viewers who might not be sure. So Fred said he got a full master's scholarship, and it was a teaching assistantship scholarship. Can you explain what does that mean if you get that scholarship first, Ted,
Yeah,
please?
that's a good question. So mostly in the United States, you are being offered either a teaching, research, or graduate assistantship. So a teaching assistantship is more or less like you'll be assigned to a professor who you will be assisting. So my duties were proctoring or invigilating, marking, undergraduate transcript, any other work that my professor was assigned to me. So I was more or less, and shout out to Professor Wangui. That was my professor. He's from Kenya originally. So she was the one I was assisting as a teaching assistant. So that is the job you'll be given, and mostly it's been assigned by your professor. Um, when it's a research assistantship, a professor may be doing a research and need a helping hand. Maybe it's a graduate assistantship. Sometimes a non-academic department in the school, maybe the graduate office, need help, a helping hand, so they'll pay your fees, pay you stipend, so that you'll be replying to emails, you'll be doing office work and stuff like that for the 20 hours. So depending on the university and depending on the availability of positions, you can either fix into any of these positions. So the good thing is that in my first university, teaching assistant, in my second university, I was a research assistant.
Wow, wow. Guys, this is so informative. So, getting a full scholarship, guys, do not feel like you're just going to get the scholarship from the university and you do not need to put some work in. They're basically giving you these full scholarships so you can provide some form of assistance to the university, as Fred just explained. And at the same time, a positive spin to this is that you're still being paid a stipend. So, can you imagine going to a university, you're earning your master's degree, you are assisting a professor and getting a stipend, and it's a win-win for you because that's going to be adding a master's degree to your CV, as well as that experience that you have now in this university on your CV. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And this is similar for the PhD programs, right, Fred?
The PhD are more juicy. So there are some PhD programs that will pay you a stipend, for up to about 2,000 or 1,500 every 2 weeks, depending on the state you're living in. Yeah. So some people in New York, California, the PhD offer is huge. So the PhD is more or less like a full-time job, right? So mostly if you're a PhD student, some undergraduate students see you as a professor because they give you a whole class to handle. So you are the one
Wow.
teaching. Yeah. So you are the one teaching the class. You handle the class, and that is your work. So the PhD programs mostly comes with huge scholarships. And the good thing is that, and people should know that you do not necessarily have to get a master's degree to apply to a PhD. You can directly use your bachelor's degree to move straight into a PhD. And so if you have a good academic background, I would encourage you to do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's something that a lot of people definitely do not know. But I did have somebody that shared on my platform. It's a young lady from Jamaica. She got a full scholarship from Jamaica to college in South Carolina, which was Benedict College, and she was studied in the sciences because that's what she's saying. In those areas, they mainly do the fast track to your PhD. So she did her bachelor's degree in chemistry, and then she applied to a university for a fast track PhD program. So she didn't need to sit for the master's, but everything is going to be incorporated in that PhD program that she's doing. So she's working at that university, she's getting a stipend, and at the end, she's going to get a PhD program, a PhD degree. So thanks for reminding me about that, Fred, and sharing that with people who may think they definitely need a master's first. No, you can definitely seek out those fast track PhD programs if studying in the United States is something that you really are looking forward to. You also mentioned the financial aspect of it, like whatever is under I-20, they need to provide that financial, you use the term. Who do they provide this to, that financial thing? Go ahead and remind me of what you called it earlier.
Okay, so yeah, so financial documents. In every university, and people should understand this, that mostly as an international student, you're dealing with three major offices. The first office will be your department you're applying to, which is your university, the program you want to apply to. So let's say the mathematics department. And these are the professors you need to contact first. Now, when you gain admission, depending on whether there is it's an undergraduate or graduate program, you have the opportunity to link up with the graduate office or the undergraduate office or the admissions office. And then the next, department you deal with will be the international office. So the international office is responsible for issuing the I-20, helping students to go about their visa processes and all that. So you've gained admission from your department. They've given you the letter. Sometimes the letter will come from either the graduate office or undergraduate office. Then the next department to collaborate with will be the international office. Don't assume that because they are in the same school, the offices know that you've gained. No, it doesn't work like that. So the international office are responsible for, international student to issue their I-20 and all that. So if your department even offers you a scholarship, sometimes the international office does not know. What they know is that you've gained admission, and so submit your financial document. So your financial document could be the scholarship from your department. And then if it is not up to the cost of attendance of the university, so for example, if the cost of attendance, like I said, is $100, and then the university, your department offered you, let's say $90, it means that you need a financial document, whether a government sponsorship, a loan document, or your personal funds, bank statement to send to the school before they issue what we call the Form I-20. Now, when you get a Form I-20, that is where the visa processes begin.
Good. All right. So for the visa processes now, the school district send you the letter of acceptance, the I-20, and whatever else you might need to go to the local embassy. Then it's up to you now to schedule an appointment to go in for your visa application process. What type of visa will be issued to people
So
who
when
want to study in the United States?
Okay, so when it comes to student, there are three categories. So there is an F1, which is for mostly people who are coming for academic programs and all that. There is an M1, which is for vocational programs. But sometimes, if your government is sponsoring you, you may or you have a different scholarship. So for example, if you're on a Mastercard Foundation scholarship, you rather get a J1 visa. So it's either an F1, an M1, or a J1. It depends on the
Mm.
category. How you were given the scholarship. So mostly those who receive I-20, get either an F1 or M1. Now, if you receive a DS 2019, then you go for a J1 category of visa. So these are the three category of visas for you to come and study.
So that's why when I look on some universities, they do offer J1 visa, and those J1 are basically for students like yourself who are going to be working with the university as well as studying at the university. So you are offered a J1. So you're working and studying at the same time. That's
No,
something I just
so when the university offers you a scholarship, normally it's F1. If it's
mm-hmm.
a vocational or technical program, so if you're
Yes.
coming to study barbering, you're coming to study manicure, pedicure, you're coming to study mechanical mechanics, auto mechanics, pilot program, those categories fall under hairdressing. All those fall under
Skills.
M1
M.
category of visa. But when it comes to maybe you have a government scholarship, so most of the Korean students, their government sponsors them, so they get a J1. If you have maybe a Mastercard Foundation, there are some categories of scholarship and external scholarship. When given to a student, they get the J1 category. That's how it works.
Okay, good, good, good. All right, thanks for clarifying that, Fred. So my next question is this. Um, you got full scholarship, so you know you had a secure job, and you mentioned 20 hours earlier. So I'm assuming you're muted. So I'm assuming you could work for 20 hours. Is it only 20 hours you can work while you study? And tell me also about, what if I did not get a scholarship? What if I got an acceptance letter, but I did not get a scholarship? Would I be able to still work while I study in the United States? Because a lot of students want to know this.
Okay, so mine came with a 20 hours already, so I have to work for my professor on campus for 20 hours. And so if you do not have a scholarship, especially for graduate program, mostly some admissions do not automatically come with scholarship. That does not mean that there are not other scholarships available. So my first university, my admission letter, the scholarship was embedded in it. In my second university, I gained admission and then I got a scholarship from a different department in the university, which is a non-academic department. So when you have admission without a scholarship, the first step is to try and seek for other opportunities on campus. So if you are going to pursue an associate degree, which the cost of attendance is lower, and you'll be able to pay for a co. But on campus, there are other jobs. So some people work at the library, others work, what the good thing about the United States is that when you're a bachelor's degree student, the first year and second year, you are supposed to be in the hall. And then there is also a dining hall where you go and eat. So there are jobs at the dining hall that most students also pick up, that you can work, earn money every week or every 2 weeks or every month, and then you'll be able to support yourself financially. Now, depending on the state you are living in and the cost of attendance and cost, the expenditure, the cost of living, you may not be able to use the money coming from the 20 hours of job on campus to be able to support yourself. But if you're working at a community college where maybe the cost of attendance is, let's say, 3,000 per semester, and you're able to get work on campus, depending on how much they pay hourly, you may be able to use that to support your tuition as well.
Okay, good. So I know there's so many information that you may want to share that I did not even ask. So I'm going to allow you to free flow. I know people are asking questions in the comment section, so I'm going to get some of those questions
Right.
over to you so you can respond. And then I'm just going to allow you to give us some information, like give us some examples of universities, definitely, accept international teachers. I mean, international students. I want to know, because I know a lot of students, when they come to study in the United States, they have the thing in the back of their head that after studying, they want to work in the United States and possibly become permanent residents in the United States. I'm going to leave those for you to discuss for people who might be interested in getting that information. But I have a question here from Diane that says, how easy or hard is it for international students to get scholarships, since the competition is so great?
So, what's the name? What's the name of the person?
Diane?
Oh, Diane, before you were born, biologically there was a competition before you finally, you were the one who came out, it's these are international universities. Everybody around the world is applying. Even the stream that you are joining now, there's competition for people to join. You could have possibly not joined maybe your network or something. So how hard? It's even hard to drink water, right? So if you want the easiest way of life, you don't do anything at all. So the question is it possible? Fred sitting here should tell you that it is possible. So I am not from a good home, not that I was, more brilliant than anybody. So I tell people that the opportunity for some of us to be here does not mean that we are better than you sitting home watching us right now. So I had classmates who were better than me in school. I had people who financially were more stable because I did my, national service, northern part of Ghana, 559 allowance. That's what I used to work on this. So if I was able to do it, you can do it. So that's why you have to set up your mind to and start working towards it. The scholarships are available. You need to apply to be able to get them.
Mhm. Then we have Mohammed. He's asking which semester offers the highest number of acceptance admission? Which
That would be the
semester?
the fall semester, which begins in August. But technically, that would depend on the program and the university you're applying to. So some universities only admit for spring, others only admit for fall semester. So it depends on, but mostly the fall semester is the major semester that people the spring semester became more popular after COVID. So the fall semester is.
Okay, and Mohammed asking again, what will rejection means in grad school application?
Rejection may mean that there are a lot of people that applied, but the department only had few positions available. So a lot of universities, they make sure that they give full scholarship to all their students that they admitted. So when it's full, or they already have the number that they want, notwithstanding your application, they may not be able to keep you in, not because you don't qualify. We all have rejections in life in one way or the other. So grad school rejection shouldn't be, anything different from what life already gives us. You move on. There's a lot of schools to apply to.
Awesome. So, guys, I know you have a lot of questions. Fred has been providing some awesome information to us. He will be giving us some more as we continue this interview. But I just wanted to pause to let you know you can find Fred on several different platforms. On my screen there, you see that's his YouTube channel, The Fred Effect, with over 100,000 subscribers. So you know a lot of people have been benefiting from Fred, and I'm sure thousands of international students have gotten the opportunity to study in the United States through his program and through his platforms. So go ahead and find him on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or Facebook under the Fred Effect. Also, if you need to get a one-on-one consultancy with Fred, there's a link on any of his platforms that you can sign up for a session to get more details from Fred in a more private and comfortable setting. So that's the Fred effect. Now, Fred, I said I wanted you to basically free flow and give us some, insights onto things that I might not have asked that are important and people might need to know about. Somebody's asking from Facebook, is there an age limit or does age matter when applying to study in the United States?
No, I am yet to come across any scholarship or maybe admission criteria that says that we will not admit you if you are this age or that. So I know there are no age limits. So it's good you mentioned that not all universities admit international students. So to be able to apply to a university, you need to find out first. Mostly the application link for domestic students are different from international students. So make sure you're using the right application link, and especially if you communicate with a university, it makes it super easy. Also, when it comes to graduating from university in the US, you have an opportunity to work afterwards. So there are a lot of works that you can do even as a student. As a student, you can work on campus, and sometimes there is something we call a CPT, or curricular practical training, or internships. So during the long break, like in May, there will be a long break. You can get internships and then be working full time off campus when you have an authorization from your university. Also, when you're done with your program, there is something we call optional practical training. So most people think that, okay, what if I'm done with my program? Well, when you're done with your program, this is how it goes. So if your program is a STEM related, science, technology, engineering, or mathematics, you have an opportunity to work like 3 years in the United States. So interestingly, some people study for a program for a year or 1.5 year and have an opportunity to work for 3 years. So there is an economics program in my first university, Ohio University. The program is for 3 semesters. And when you're done, because it's a STEM program, you have an opportunity to work for 3 years. So you school for 1.5 year and work for 3 years. So if your program is not a STEM related, you have an opportunity to work for a year. And then you can decide to continue education or use any other route. And the good thing is that most international students are good in such a way that when they get a job, then the job would file what we call the H1B or EB3 or EB2 for them, so that they can transition from the F1 category of visa into a citizenship or a permanent residency, and subsequently, the citizenship route. So if you want to work on this, what you have to understand is that a lot of people have done it. If you are listening to us, it is possible you can also do it. People studying abroad isn't that they have an excellent CGPA. If somebody has a low CGPA, it does not, put you away from applying to a university abroad. The good thing about applying to schools in the United States is that they do not only consider your CGPA and, for that matter, your transcript. So if you're a human being, you have one finger cut off. It doesn't make you less of a human being, right? So, if you have a lower CGPA, it doesn't mean that you do not qualify to study abroad. There are other documents that I mentioned earlier on that you need to strengthen. So you need to strengthen your SOP. You need to strengthen your resume. There are other documents that the admissions committee consider, and not only your CGPA, or for that matter, your transcript. So you could have a lower CGPA, still get admission into a school that somebody with a high CGPA couldn't get into. If you're able to strengthen your recommendation letters, you put more effort into your CV, put a lot of effort. Sometimes you may have a low CGPA because you fell sick, something happened, and all that. You can write an explanatory note to explain the reason why you had that. And there are a lot of options. So, for example, if you have a low CGPA and you evaluate your transcript, it pushes your CGPA up a little bit. Again, most universities do not require application fee. So what stops you from even trying? Because you're not paying anything. So just
Right.
submit your documents and apply. If you are able to apply to a second bachelor's degree, that is also another option if you have a low CGPA. So to be honest, there is no excuse for anybody who want to study abroad. It is possible, whichever way. There is always a university to apply to. 50 states in the US, a lot of colleges, a lot of universities that would want you to apply. So yeah, there's always an opportunity, and we hope that people would take some of these opportunities that we are sharing, and then change their course of life.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it. I know I was curious to know, you did mention if you have a bachelor's in education, you don't necessarily need to apply for a bachelor's, a master's, in education. You say they can choose other areas. But then you mentioned that programs that you can do for a year or a year and a half if it's a STEM related program, and you get the opportunity to apply for an OPT and work for 3 years in the United States. So I would personally recommend people to do STEM programs when they apply to study in the United States. That's what I would recommend. What areas do you recommend internationals to apply for, Fred?
It basically depends on your preference, and then what you want to study. You understand? So every program is possible. You can apply to study barbering in the US, get an M1 visa. You can become a pilot, get an M1 visa. You can study engineering. You can also study mathematics. You can study music. You can study dance. You can study psychology. So there are lots of programs that are available. You can apply for, and most of them would come with these scholarships. So I don't have a preference. It depends on what you studied and what you want to do with your life. Basically.
All right, awesome. Guys, if you are enjoying what is being shared on this platform today, go ahead and like this video, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you're new to my channel, feel free to check out my YouTube channel, Kicking with Dr. Britton, where I provide information on how you can get a teaching job in the United States. Tomorrow, I will be having a live with Dr. Thomas, who will be coming to share with us her experience teaching here in the United States, and specifically for those who might have gotten a job opportunity to teach in the United States for the 24-25 school year. She's going to be talking about, transitioning from your home country to the United States, and also the first year expectations of international teachers. You don't want to miss that tomorrow, Sunday, 21st of April at 6 p.m. EST. I have some more questions for you, Fred. I'm going to put them there so you can see it and then you can respond. That's Joseph.
All right. So Joseph, I'll say obviously joining us from Ghana. So you see, we spoke about, reaching out to the director of the program or the coordinator. So what Joseph is saying that he has gotten admission. Congrats, Joseph. But the department coordinator said they do not have funding in the first semester. So if he had reached out before applying, Joseph would have known that the department do not have funding, not to finish applying before knowing. So, Joseph, I made a video on my YouTube channel that I explained the various ways you can go about getting at scholarship when you have admission. I would encourage you to check that out. One of the things I can mention right now is that your scholarship do not necessarily have to come only from your department. So, my first university, the scholarship came from my department. My second university, it was a different department in the university that gave me the scholarship. So check out that video, explore the options I explained there, and you'll be fine, Joseph.
All right, Princess.
So Princess is asking about universities that do not require application fee. Princess, there are a lot of them. You want me to mention for bachelor's or masters, but quick one is that there are a lot of ways, not necessarily that the university is waiving application fee, as you can see. A lot of them posted there. So in Georgia, for example, they have what we call, and that's exciting that most of the states in the US have what we call application fee waiver month. So in March and in February, for example, they sometimes waive it for undergrad. So the whole of February, most of the universities in Georgia will waive it. March, most of the universities in Georgia will waive it. So at the moment, the schools I can give you as for example, the University of Texas at San Antonio. So it's in Texas. So they have a program. They have these programs: MBA, accounting, data analytics, economics, finance, IT and cybersecurity, real estate, and then statistics. They are having an open house on April 25. So if you're able to register, so if you're listening to me, you can go to the University of Texas at San Antonio, which is UTSA, and then their business, the College of Business, the Alvarez College of Business, they have a webinar on April 25th. If you're able to attend this, you get an application fee waiver to apply for free. So these are some of the things you can do to get an application fee waiver. If you visit the University of Michigan Flint, most of the programs have a webinar. When you attend, you can get an application fee waiver. If you're applying to University of Missouri, S&T University is located in Missouri. I wanted to mention the city, but I've forgotten. But Missouri S&T, most of the undergraduate programs are free. You can apply to that for free as well. So there are a lot of them. We'll be mentioning them from time to time.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Fred. So this is not a question, but Fred, you might be able to pronounce this name better than I can, but she needs help studying abroad. And definitely, I'm going to recommend that she reaches out to Fred on any of his platform, whether it be YouTube, IG, TikTok, or Twitter, where he can provide you with one-on-one consultation. All right.
Right, Motube. Yeah, that's the best way to get in touch. We can have a one-on-one conversation.
Okay. Kinley saying have a master's degree in educational psychology, can have a Oh, that's definitely not that's not for Fred, but Kinley, you definitely need to be on the live tomorrow. We can talk some more. That what we are definitely talking about teaching. But I do not want to just answer your question offhand like that because you definitely need to, speak more about your background. So kindly please reach out to. Thank you very much, Diane. Are there any more questions, guys, that you'd like Fred to answer? Go ahead and put those in the comment section. He has provided some great information to us this morning. I know for those who might be watching later on today, they may have more questions, but feel free to put them in the comment section, and I'm sure Fred will come back to respond on YouTube or IG. That's my YouTube page, Kicking with Dr. Britton, or IG, Kicking with Dr. Britton as well. I'm also live on TikTok. Those who are interested to reach out to Fred, go ahead and find him on any of his platforms, and he can be found under the Fred Effect. As you can see here, trust me, I learned a lot this morning about the study abroad process. So if that's something that you're interested in, find Fred, find his platform, get some information from there, as well as sign up on one of his consultation where you can get more one-on-one private guidance from Ted. How much do you need to have in your bank account to show during? Fred Matt can respond to this one.
Right. So this would depend on how much the question should rather be on how much do you need to show to your university for them to issue your I-20. So if you showed maybe $20, you may need about 25 or $30 when you're going for the interview. So the embassy do not have specific information or requirement when it comes to financial statement, but the school does. So the school that you apply to will tell you how much you need to submit to them, and that's the same financial document you need to use to send to the embassy when you're going for your interview.
All right, awesome. I have a next question from Joseph.
All right, Joseph, is a loan a good option if you don't? Yes, loan is a good option. So Empower usually provides, financial support to international students. So you can explore that as well, Joseph.
You mentioned Empower. Is that one that also sponsored internationals in Canada?
Yes, they do also sponsor international students in Canada.
I thought they were only based in Canada. So that's definitely something. And I'm sure you have a video on Empower, Fred.
Not yet.
Do you?
Maybe they have to come and see me before I do that.
Okay. All right. Edu is asking, what can I do as of now? I have not received admission decision. Is it too late?
It's not too late. There's nothing like too late. This is not a rush. It's not a competition. That don't be sort of be intimidated by our friends and colleagues receiving admission. Everybody's running their own race, right? So reach out to the admissions team of your university and then ask, when you should expect to hear from them. Sometimes it's just an oversight. When you reach out, they will let you know when you would expect your admission decision. Also, be checking your email, spam box, and all that. Some universities will not email you your admission letter. They have a portal that you use for your application. So you need to visit that portal to know if a decision has been made in your on your application. So please do that, and I'm sure you'll be fine.
I just love the way Fred is positive about everything and he relates everything to um our life. That's very encouraging. Blast Mark is asking, I have received admission from the university. Is it guaranteed that I may get a visa for my I-20? I'm from
Um,
Ghana.
I have received admission from a university in the USA. Is it guaranteed that I may get a visa after my I-20? I'm from Ghana. I'm Bismarck. I got my visa from Ghana. So obviously you can. So all you need to do is to put in the preparation. To be honest with you, I don't want this to come from me, but the fact that you have admissions and an I-20 does not guarantee a visa, right? The visa process also need to put in some work, so there are former visa officers that have interviewed on my platform. Go and listen to them. There are mock interview platforms you have to join. So yeah, I got my visa from Ghana. Yes, you can. As I talk to you now, some people are scared there are no visa interview dates. As I talk to you now, there are visa interview dates in Ghana that you can select. So be positive about the whole thing. Bismarck, you're going to be fine.
All right, and this is gonna be the last one, and we're gonna wrap things up, guys. Would December be suitable time to apply to start January?
You should apply early. It depends on the university. If you want to start in January, you have to also think about the visa processes. Sometimes, the visa processes take some time. So if you apply in December, when are you expecting admission to start in January, traveling, getting visas and all that? So please start early if you want to start in January.
And I have a question on TikTok, but I'm not sure what the person is asking. So I'll just advise you to reach out to Fred to get more information on that. I know you shared some information and then say what would be the advice, but I'm not clear on what the question is. So do feel free to reach out on Fred, as I kept mentioning today, on any of his platform, YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or Facebook. And you can find him under the TED Effect. Also, you can sign up through any of his platforms on a link for a one-on-one consultation. I'm sure you won't be disappointed, because trust me that I've learned a lot this morning. So who else to guide you but somebody who has experienced it? He has walked the walk, he has talked the talk, and he knows the different avenues to take you through. So reach out to Fred, guys. Those who are new to my platform, that's Kicking with Dr. Britton, please go ahead and subscribe if you have not subscribed as yet. Turn your notification bells on, and don't forget to be on the lookout for tomorrow's live, where we'll be talking to Dr. Thomas, who will share with us transitioning to the United States as an international teacher, as well as first year expectations for teachers who will be coming this summer 24 to teach here in the United States. Again, we want to take the time to thank Fred for coming to share with us all these invaluable insights. I've learned a lot. I'm sure you have learned a lot. And we just want to show him some appreciation. Go ahead and like this video. Maybe leave a positive comment in the comment section there. And Ted, if you have any final words, go ahead and share that, and then we'll just sign out for today.
So, my final words would be: I appreciate the opportunity, Dr. Braden. It was great coming here. Please listen to us, that it is possible. You can do it. Getting admission and scholarship is not as huge as you think. You do not necessarily have to know somebody here to, when I was coming, I did not know anybody here. I'm not from a good family. I'm not that super brilliant kind of person that says that I had all A's in my grade. So if I was able to do it, you can do it. Take the step today. Studying abroad has changed a lot of people's lives, and it could change yours too. Some of us, the only opportunity we had to move out of our villages were the education or the school opportunity. So you can do it. Take a step today. Call that professor that you've not been speaking to for a very long time for a recommendation letter. Start working on your passport. If you don't, it's never too late. There is always an opportunity. You do not necessarily have to make it this semester. There is always an opportunity to apply to universities abroad or universities in the US anytime you are ready. So take the step. The money should not scare you, because you can apply to universities for free. Your grades should not scare you, because there are universities that will admit you. So be positive about the whole thing. And like I say all the time, be positive. Everything will be fine.
All right. Thank you very much, Fred. And guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. See you tomorrow on that live. Bye.